If you get a really deep splinter in your finger or like you need to remove a tiny physical ailment, you don't reach for a sledgehammer.
No, of course not.
Right, you reach for something exact, like a pair of perfectly machined tweezers. Or, if you're a surgeon, a scalpel. You want a tool designed for absolute precision.
Because you need to target the exact root of the issue. If you use a blunt instrument, you're just going to cause this massive, unnecessary disruption to all the surrounding healthy tissue.
Exactly. But it is wild how we completely abandon that logic when we transition from physical ailments to talking about our emotional baggage or, our spiritual burnout.
Yeah, suddenly our approach gets incredibly vague.
It really does. We just try to generally feel better or maybe shake it off or take a walk and just hope for the best. We completely lose that precision.
We really do find ourselves wandering in these diagnostic muddy waters. We deal with heavy emotional fog, complex grief, energetic exhaustion, and we basically just use a metaphorical sledgehammer. Or worse, we just sit in the fog hoping the weather clears on its own.
Well, welcome to today's deep dive, because today we are going to explore a fascinating set of notes and insights from Crystals by Rob, all about the healing and metaphysical properties of a very specific, incredibly high vibration tool.
A really remarkable subject, honestly.
Yeah, a tool that promises to bring that exact surgical precision back into your emotional and energetic life. We are talking about the Colombian laser wand quartz crystal.
And we are going to look at these specific crystals, not just as, pretty stones to put on a shelf.
Right.
But really through the lens of targeted, emotional, spiritual, and energetic application. We're exploring why seasoned practitioners consider them the absolute high-tech instruments of the mineral kingdom.
So our mission today, for you listening, is to bypass the overwhelm of general New Age jargon. We want to discover exactly why these wands earned the reputation of being surgical tools in the crystal world and figure out how you might actually use them for real emotional clarity.
And deep energetic resets. But before we can truly grasp what these crystals do metaphysically, we have to understand what they are physically.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Because in the realm of crystal healing, physical structure isn't just an aesthetic detail. It directly informs the energetic mechanism.
Yeah, and their physical anatomy is just wild. When you picture a quartz crystal, you probably imagine like one of those big, chunky, milky white clusters you see in tourist gift shops.
Yeah, the classic geode look.
Right, but that is not what this is. These crystals emerge specifically from the high-altitude mountainous regions of Colombia. And the first thing that jumps out from the source material is their clarity.
It's unparalleled.
Yeah, they are prized for being what's called water clear, just this glass-like transparency.
And their shape is also entirely unique to their environment. They have these long, incredibly slender bodies that naturally taper down toward a very small, remarkably potent termination point.
And they just grow like that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to emphasize that they aren't cut or polished into this shape by a jeweler. The earth literally grows them this way.
That is so cool. And they have this amazing auditory quality, which completely blew my mind when I read about it. They're often referred to as singing quartz.
Yes, the acoustic properties are fascinating.
Like, if you take two of these long, thin wands and gently touch them together, they don't make a dull rock-on-rock thud. They produce this high-pitched, metallic tink that actually rings out.
It's very distinct.
Oh, and visually, if you look really closely at the sides of the crystal, they feature these distinct horizontal lines or striations running up the shaft. They're called Lemurian ladder lines.
Which is a crucial detail to focus on. In metaphysical traditions, those Lemurian ladder lines aren't just seen as random growth marks or, scratches from the earth.
What are they seen as?
They are believed to act like ancient barcodes. The idea is that these crystals, growing over millennia, have recorded environmental and spiritual data. They're holding evolutionary blueprints.
Wow, barcodes. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, and practitioners believe that running your thumb over these ridges can actually help you access that stored ancient wisdom.
It makes me think about how we manipulate light. Like, if a standard piece of broad, clear quartz is like a floodlight, great for generally illuminating a whole room with a soft glow, the Colombian laser wand is a precise laser pointer.
Or, going back to our earlier thought, an emotional scalpel.
Exactly.
What's fascinating here is how that specific physical tapered shape acts as a natural concentrator. From an energetic standpoint, think of the wide base of the crystal, pulling in universal life force.
Like prana or chi.
Right, whatever terminology you prefer. It pulls it in and funnels it down that long, clear shaft. And by the time that energy reaches the tiny termination point, It has been literally channeled and beamed into a highly focused point of light.
So it isn't radiating energy in all directions.
No, it is directing a precise beam.
Which brings us perfectly to what you actually do with a concentrated beam of energetic light. Building directly on that scalpel analogy, let's examine exactly what this metaphysical scalpel is used to cut.
Well, in the energetic healing space, this wand acts as a surgical tool specifically for the heart and the mind. It's utilized to slice right through what we call emotional fog.
Which we all get.
Oh, absolutely. It targets deep-seated illusions, cognitive dissonance, and those heavy, repetitive, self-sabotaging stories we constantly tell ourselves.
It's also famous for a practice called cord cutting, right? Removing unhealthy etheric attachments.
Yes. Think of etheric cords as invisible, energetic tethers that form between you and other people, places, or even past versions of yourself.
Like an old job or a bad relationship.
Exactly. When a relationship ends badly or you leave a toxic workplace, the physical separation happens, but the energetic tether often remains constantly draining your energy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the wand is used to surgically sever those invisible cords. It also neutralizes energetic static and is highly recommended for sealing leaks in your aura.
Okay, I have to push back a little here. Sealing a leak in your aura sounds incredibly dramatic.
I know, it does sound a bit out there.
Yeah. What does an aura leak actually feel like on a random Tuesday morning for someone, just trying to get through their work week?
That is a very fair question. An aura leak isn't some mystical light show. It usually presents as sudden, inexplicable exhaustion.
Oh, interesting.
Have you ever walked into a crowded room or had a 5-minute conversation with a particularly negative coworker and walked away feeling like you need a 3-hour nap?
Oh, absolutely. The classic energy vampire scenario.
Precisely. That profound sudden depletion is what practitioners refer to as a compromise or a leak in your energetic boundary. Your vital energy is essentially spilling out, and you are absorbing the chaotic static of the room.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. But it still begs the question, how does the surgery actually happen?
What do you mean?
Well, it's one thing to hold a pretty crystal and just think about feeling better. What is the actual mechanism or ritual for you, the user, sitting at home? Is it just passive holding while you watch TV?
Oh, no, not at all. It requires deeply active participation. The methodology detailed in Rob's insights outlines a very specific cord-cutting ritual.
Okay, how does that work?
You don't just hold the crystal. You hold the wand and move it in a sweeping, deliberate cutting motion around your physical body.
So you're actually moving it like a blade?
Yes. And as you perform this physical movement, you are simultaneously engaging in intense mental visualization, picturing those specific energetic cords to that ex-partner or that stressful boss being definitively severed.
And what about the aura leak?
For an aura leak, you would use the point of the wand to trace the outline of your body, visualizing a cohesive, protective shield sealing back up.
So the mechanism is a physical action powerfully paired with intense mental visualization. The crystal is just the physical anchor for the psychological release.
Exactly. And by engaging in this focused, multisensory ritual, you are forcing yourself to identify the root cause of your emotional blockages.
You're not just ignoring it anymore.
Right. You are bringing suppressed emotions to the surface, processing them, and cleanly releasing them. The ultimate goal here is fostering what is termed emotional sovereignty.
Emotional sovereignty. That's a phenomenal phrase. It's like reclaiming the territory of your own mind. It builds mental toughness.
It really does.
But, performing intense emotional surgery sounds kind of exhausting.
It is exhausting, which is why Rob makes a very crucial point regarding balance. Because the energy of these Colombian wands is so sharp, high frequency, and direct, he highly advises pairing them with softer stones.
Like what kind of stones?
Particularly rose quartz or pink tourmaline during any heart-centered work.
Mm-hmm.
You need those stones to provide a nurturing, loving vibration to act as a buffer.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you are balancing out the profound emotional surgery with a soft recovery room.
I love that. A soft recovery room. And once that emotional static is finally cleared out, once those unhealthy cords are cut and you've reclaimed your sovereign space, your energetic body is essentially a clean slate.
Yes, it is primed for a higher level upgrade. Which brings us to the chakra system and the deeper spiritual applications of the wand.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because the insights describe these wands as acting like a lightning rod for cosmic light.
A great visual.
They are said to pull massive, high vibrational frequencies down from the universe. And while we always hear about the traditional 7 chakras, from the root at the base of the spine up to the crown at the top of the head, These Colombian laser wands resonate most powerfully with the crown chakra and something called the soul star chakra.
Yes, the soul star is often referred to as the 8th chakra.
Wait, the eighth? Where is that?
It's actually located outside the physical body, roughly 6 to 12 inches above your head.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It is considered the gateway to higher spiritual realms, and working with it allows you to bypass physical limitations to achieve what practitioners call advanced ascension.
The methodology outlines an incredibly detailed chakra alignment process using the wand. But honestly, reading through it, I realized we shouldn't just list all the chakras one by one. The deeper insight here is the metaphor of the diagnostic.
How do you mean?
I picture this alignment exactly like running a diagnostic test on a sluggish computer or rebooting a router. You are going port by port, checking the connections, clearing the cache, and ensuring you have a fluid, high-velocity flow of qi throughout the whole system.
That is a brilliant analogy. And if we look at the structure of that diagnostic, the most revealing part is actually where it begins. You would think a high vibration tool focused on the 8th chakra above your head would start at the top.
Right.
But it actually starts below the physical body, at the Earth Star chakra, which is 6 to 12 inches below your feet.
Why is that? Like, why start in the dirt when we're trying to reach the cosmos?
Because of the physics of energy. If you're going to run a massive high-voltage electrical current through a system, what is the most important component?
The grounding wire.
Exactly. Without a deep, secure ground, the system fries. Energetically, it's the exact same principle. You place the wand near your feet, visualizing a deep red or brown light, rooting you firmly to the earth.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and it's heavily recommended to pair the wand with an intense grounding stone, like dravite or black tourmaline at this stage.
You have to anchor the foundation,
Aye.
and then from there, the diagnostic moves up fluidly.
Right.
You sweep through the root and sacral chakras to clear blockages in security and creativity. Then you move the wand in a clockwise motion over the solar plexus above the navel to radiate confidence.
Moving right up the line.
Yeah, up through the heart for love, the throat to clear self-doubt, the third eye for intuition, until you finally reach the top. The crown and that soul star chakra hovering above it.
And at this peak, the practitioner holds the wand above their head, visualizing violet, white, or golden light connecting them to universal wisdom. You literally pull the light from the soul star down through the crown.
Opening what the texts call the ceiling of the mind. If we connect this to the bigger picture, fleshing out all of this earthly stagnation from the lower chakras and opening that ceiling has profound implications. The sources state that this specific level of alignment, facilitated by the laser wand, allows the user to access the Akashic records.
Right, and for those unfamiliar, the Akashic records are conceptualized as the energetic cosmic archive of every soul's journey across time. It's basically the universe's supercomputer.
And the associations tied to these upper chakras in the source material are just vast. I was genuinely taken aback by the sheer scale of the list.
It is extensive.
It links this wand's energy to archangels like Metatron and Mariel, to spirit animals like the eagle, the raven, and the spider, to planetary bodies like Jupiter, Uranus, Saturn, and Neptune.
And deities as well.
Yeah, even to gods and goddesses across wildly different cultures, from Zeus to Kuan Yin to Gaia.
That massive, diverse list is incredibly telling. It proves that we aren't talking about a tool tied to one specific human religion or, narrow dogma. The crystal operates on a universal archetypal frequency.
It's way bigger than that.
Exactly. Yeah. It acts as a bridge between human intellect and the highest, most universal dimensions of the divine. That is exactly why Colombian laser wands are explicitly classified as master tools for advanced energy work.
Okay, so we've discussed multidimensional soul work, cosmic lightning rods, and accessing universal archives.
The heavy stuff.
Yeah, the heavy stuff. But I want to bring this back down to earth for a minute. So what does this all actually mean for you, the listener, trying to navigate your actual life? How do you apply this focused, high-frequency energy when you aren't in a deep, hour-long meditative trance?
Well, fortunately, the practical applications of the wand are just as compelling as the esoteric ones. They provide highly practical, everyday utility.
Space clearing is a huge one. The insight suggests you can take the wand and use the point to literally sweep the corners of a room to break up stagnant energy.
Yes.
Now, I have to ask, why the corners? Why not just stand in the middle of the room and wave it around?
It comes down to how energy moves. Think about how dust or cobwebs accumulate in a house. They don't gather in the center of the hallway where there's constant movement and airflow.
Right. They pool in the corners.
Exactly. They pool in the 90-degree corners where the flow stops. Energetic stagnation operates similarly. Heavy, dense emotional residue gets trapped in the architectural corners of a space.
Oh, I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, so the sharp, concentrated frequency of the laser wand is uniquely suited to pierce into those tight angles and break up the energetic cobwebs, maintaining a high vibrational atmosphere in your home.
That is a brilliant way to visualize it. Another practical application is focused manifestation.
A very popular use.
Yeah, you can hold the wand and physically point it toward a written goal on a piece of paper or like at your vision board. The idea is that the crystal acts as a powerful amplifier to speed up the realization of that specific goal. But again, how does a rock amplify a thought?
Well, this is where metaphysical properties actually overlap beautifully with real-world physics. Clear quartz possesses a scientifically proven property called piezoelectricity.
Piezoelectricity.
Yes. If you apply physical pressure to quartz, it generates an electric charge. It is quite literally a conduit for energy and data.
Oh, like how we use quartz in modern wristwatches to keep perfect time. Or silicon, which is derived from quartz in computer microchips to store data.
Exactly. In technology, quartz stores and transmits information with relentless precision. Metaphysical practitioners apply that exact same logic to human consciousness.
Wow.
If quartz can store technological data, it can also store and broadcast human intention. When you point the wand at your vision board, you are using the crystal's natural amplifying mechanics to broadcast your goal into the energetic field.
That bridges the gap between magic and mechanics so well. And my absolute favorite everyday use is personal protection.
Oh, yes. The pocket buffer.
Right. The note suggests simply carrying a small laser wand in your pocket. Think about how that helps you. If you are walking into a highly combative office meeting or you have to commute on a packed, aggressively loud subway car, you have this energetic buffer right in your pocket.
It's actively cutting through the toxic environment in real time.
Preserving your emotional sovereignty.
But of course, like any high-tech tool, it requires maintenance to keep functioning at that level. You have to clear its cache, so to speak.
How do you do that?
The methodology recommends cleansing the wand regularly, using dragon's blood incense, the smoke of Palo Santo, or simply leaving it out to bathe in moonlight.
Oh, nice.
And if you want to supercharge its natural amplifying properties, you can charge the wand outside during the full pink moon.
Just remember, if you are carrying it daily, keep a grounding stone like hematite nearby so you don't end up feeling too spacey or unmoored from reality.
Very important point. But this raises an important question, though. When we look at the core mechanism of all these practices, whether you are sweeping the corners of a room, riding the subway, or running a full chakra diagnostic from the Earth Star to the Soul Star, what is the actual fuel making it happen?
A battery, so to speak.
Right. And the vital role here belongs entirely to intention.
It's not a magic wand from a fairy tale that just does the work for you while you sit back.
Far from it. As we discussed with the piezoelectric effect, Colombian laser wands are exceptional amplifiers, but they only amplify what you put into them.
So they need input.
Exactly. They're essentially blank slates of immense power. They are useless without the user actively infusing them with specific goals. You have to clearly program the wand with your intention.
Whether that is radical self-love or deep forgiveness, releasing a toxic ex, or finding your divine purpose.
Exactly. The wand provides the heavy lifting and the precision, but you have to provide the blueprint.
The blueprint. That brings us full circle perfectly. So let's look at the incredible journey we've just taken today.
It's been quite a ride.
We started with a physical object, a remarkable water-clear singing stone pulled from the high altitudes of Colombia. We watched it function as an emotional scalpel, cutting away the mental fog and severing the draining cords of our past.
We saw it act as a cosmic lightning rod, running a full energetic diagnostic from deep below the earth all the way up to the universal archives above your head.
And we grounded all of that high-level spiritual theory in the practical reality of your daily life. Using the wand's natural physics to clear a stagnant room, manifest a career goal, or just survive a toxic environment with your boundaries intact.
And the most important takeaway for you, the listener, is that whether you are deep into the pursuit of spiritual ascension or you are literally just trying to cut through your own daily emotional exhaustion so you can get to Friday.
Which is most of us.
Right. The true power of this wand lies entirely in the clarity of your own intention. The crystal is the scalpel, but you are the surgeon.
I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over, building on that idea of blueprints. Earlier, we talked about the physical Lemurian ladder lines on the sides of these crystals.
Those ancient barcodes.
Right. We noted that these horizontal striations are believed by practitioners to hold ancient data and evolutionary blueprints recorded over millennia by the Earth itself. But we also just established that these clear quartz wands are highly programmable amplifiers that store and broadcast our current human intentions.
So where does that leave us?
Well, if we are actively programming them today with our focused thoughts, what kind of emotional and spiritual blueprints are we writing into these stones right now for future generations to uncover?
Wow. Are we programming them with our daily anxiety, our petty grievances, and our fog?
Or are we deliberately programming them with our healing, our radical forgiveness, and our clarity? It is a heavy, beautiful responsibility, because when you finally have a tool of absolute unforgiving precision in your hands, you have to be very, very careful where you point it. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time.